Hello everybody. It is Thursday and rainy here. You are with Tony Tesler and I just want to just need to find my video so I can, oh there we go, notification. Oh yay. Alright, now I know I have to turn it down. And hopefully I will be able to pull this up, come on, and see comments. I don't want this big screen. Yikes. This looks different. Quality, yeah. Let me go back. Let me refresh this. Alright, so if you're on, just say hello. If you're watching replay, say hashtag replay so I can see. Alright, so click. There we go. Hey Susie. Hey Gail. Morning. Alright. That seems to be what I want. Awesome. Okay. So, like I said, today, rainy. My sinuses are bothering me. I don't know if that's, that seems to be the norm now. Alright, now I want to show you something real quick. So Gail, I got this microphone, this collar mic. I'm going to try this next week. I've seen mixed reviews on it because I don't know really how when I listen to my videos later, the sound seems okay. It only seems like when I lean over to get something else, then the sound goes out, which makes sense because the microphone's up here. But I'm going to try this and see if it helps any. I don't know if it's, you know, how consistent my, the sound is. So we'll see. I'm going to give that a try next week. All right. So let's start with goodies that I've gotten in the mail. How about that? I've gotten some cute cards. So this was a swap and I don't really know what happened here. That's a little whoopsie. Something came off on the paper. But this fall set, it can be apples or pumpkins. I like it. And she embossed, this is that, hammered metal. It's gonna say, it's easy. Do it now? You think plug it in right now? You think it'll still work? All right. Trying to see. All right, there's 4 people. Ugh. All right, let's see if this does helps any, Gail. You'll have to tell me. Hey, Sue. So I was just telling Gail I got this microphone because I don't know if it's going to help with the sound. So we're going to find out. All right, so I'm plugging it in. So I have an iPhone 11. All right. So far, is this any difference? Can you guys hear any difference? This was just me talking right into it. Ah, she's so bossy. Who's bossy? Gail? All right. So I'm going to have to figure out something to do with this cord because that's kind of annoying. All right. Yes, so it does make a difference. Good. Good. All right, let me clip this over here on this side. And I wish this cord was a little bit longer, but actually, all right, I can swing it over top of... Thanks, Leslie. Good, better. I'll swing it over top of my iPad. This is very... I'm going to have to figure something else out for where to put this cord. But, okay, so that's good. So is it still okay? Because I pinned it like on my shirt. So just let me know. All right, so back to the swaps that I got. So she used the hammered metal, and this is Cajun Craze and Pumpkin Pie. And I think that's a cute fall card. And then I got this Halloween card from Pam. Now, I don't know what I don't know where she got this skull with the little hat. I think it's adorable, though. I mean, it's supposed to be creepy, but I like it. One eyeball, of course. I see you. So I like that. I got a card from Chris. I know we used this a long time ago, And then it looks like an embossing folder. So this, she must have tried out the embossing folders after we did that from our stamp club like last month. So I can tell these grooves are going down, and then she rubbed the ink over top of it. So I like that technique. I do like this stamp set still. And then I got a card from Viv. She said it's too dumb to talk about, but she's out of Halloween cards. I think this is funny. It makes me laugh. But I like this shaker card. And that was last month's. So last month was the Halloween stuff, trick or treat stuff. So this was the one before that. So I love those cards. That's funny. Then I got some more napkins. So next month, well, in a couple weeks actually, we're going to get together, a few of us, and we're going to make napkin cards. So we all decided just to mail each other some napkins, whatever we had laying around. So this is my haul for this week. These are going to make such pretty cards. Sunflowers. And the beauty is, you know, you can make 4 cards out of the napkins. I love it. And these wrinkles, we're not even going to worry about that. Snowflakes. How cute is this? This reminds me of some Stampin' Up! Paper that we had. Oh, I got something in my eye. Several years ago. It was like a kind of a, I want to say a Nordic pattern, and it had these colors, and it was like snowflakes and trees and stuff. So I like that. Let me just flip the comments up. Some more. This is a good holiday one with some nice swirls and pears. Pretty. I love this. I think this came from, I wanted to say Chris, but I don't know. But I love these, maybe Margaret. These summertime flowers, and then the butterfly, the pinks. I like that. Very nice, pretty, like a brocade pattern. Ornaments. And then a stocking. I love this. So many. These are all going to be such cool cards. All these hats, so cute. A, I love the colors. Old olive and cherry cobbler. B, I just love that. Trees. This is going to be really pretty. Now, something this size, I'm probably going to try to make like a 5x7 card with it, because I don't want to waste hardly any of this. Geez, maybe I'll even do 6x6. Who knows? This is really pretty. Another fun one, sailboats. I love these colors too. Now, this might be one I may like cut it in half. Yeah, Gail, like this is just, we all like, you know, what do you have laying around? Because I had picked up a couple packs at Hobby Lobby a couple weeks ago, because like the Halloween and fall stuff was on sale. I love this. Acorns Fall, my favorite. And how pretty. With roses, like cabbage roses. This reminds me of Mint Macaron, or from years ago, Mint Melody. Maybe it's a little darker than Mint Melody. But, so that's going to be fun stuff for Stamp Club in a couple weeks. All right, so let's get to it. So today we're going to be using the Curvy Celebrations bundle. Now here's the flyer. And I think I have this posted on my sharing group. If not, I'm going to double check that. I am going to post it. So the deal is, this is an early release of stuff that this stamp, Quite Curvy stamp set, and the Curvy dies are going to be in the next catalog, the June through, or January through June, however they're doing it now. Sorry. So this is an early release of that, but then we've also got a special limited time Christmas set and papers that go with it. So you can get like just these. I don't think you can get just these pieces. I think you can only get these if you get that. But the best deal is to save 10% and get all of it. It's $70.50 for all of it. And then the papers, let me just fan out a couple. They're cherry cobbler, shaded spruce, I believe. Yeah, and Sahara sand. For some reason, they came sorted like one at a time, so I had to go and repile them up. So, because I like all the Saharas together, and then shaded spruce. All right, so that's like the one side, and then the reverse are just more prints that you could use. So we've got the same for the shaded spruce and the cherry cobbler. So put this all back in. Now the special that I'm going to have, I'm not going to have any special code for this product. So these we can start getting on November 3rd and goes through, I think, January 4th. And then they'll cut that off because these will no longer be available, these pieces. And then these pieces we'll be able to get out of the next mini catalog. So you can only get all this bundle until from November 3rd until January 4th. If you buy this from me at any time, there's no special hostess code, no anything. I'm going to send you a PDF, a tutorial with at least 6 projects, maybe more. I'm working on that this weekend, so there'll be something. It'll be a PDF with pictures and instructions for how to make some stuff that I'm not going to post on my blog or anything. I'm not going to post the project, so you won't be able to get them or see them anywhere else. Sorry, I really needed some coffee. Okay, so today I'm going to use both these sets. I'm going to start with Christmas. And Leslie, you're going to like this because I decided I would try to color some of that blocked paper. That pumpkin was trying to escape. Okay. So, where is my... Oh, here we go. Okay, so cherry cobbler. Oh. So I'm using this flocked paper. Plush Poinsettia specialty paper, my bad. And Leslie had asked me before, like when it first came out, can you color that? And I saw some samples and I asked a friend of mine who got this stuff and it just didn't look very good. But then someone else posted a small video on like one of the demonstrator sites. Look at those poinsettias, very pretty. And she used her Stampin Blends and it looked nice. I mean, nice enough. It's still just a little bit, it's not crisp because this plush stuff makes it, you know, like a little bit hairy. So, but these papers are nice enough. Like I said, we're going to use the blends because we don't want it to bleed. So if you use the regular markers, I don't know why, but it's just too much juice and it will just go everywhere. And I did use different shades in here, so I'm trying to, you know, get it like we normally would use with the blends. The thing I will tell you, the thing I've had a trouble with is cutting these with the dies so that they match. Like, so you get the same curve. Oh, and that's what I wanted to show you. When you run these dies through, all right, so these thin ones on the end, especially this one, ugh, and this one too, really. So you may think that you want to run these through like this, and then, you know, it'll run like that. This will make your dies bow so bad. You don't want to do that, especially this one. So you want to keep them like this. And your dies, I think it's 6 inches wide, and that's the width of this, of our big shot plate. Yep, 6 inches, maybe a smidge over. So you want to run it like this, just because there's less time for those rollers in the big shot to go over it. You're less likely to warp your dies like this. So just keep that in mind. Let me show that again. So this way, no, bad. This way, good. All right. So I've already cut, let me move this, get these out of the way. I've already cut my pieces. I started with 5 1/4 by 3-inch pieces, and then I just cut the ends off. And I'm going to want to maybe scooch this up like that because I want more of this cherry cobbler bit to hang out. But first we're going to color this because it does take me a little bit. Now let me get this as close as I can. Do you see it's really not a perfect color? Like, because of that plush stuff, it really, you don't get a crisp line. And don't worry about these blobs that you see. That's just because I just glued this on like a half hour ago. I colored this last night, and then I thought, oh, I gotta get that put together. And I didn't poke out all my dots, so that's okay. I will poke these out. That's about it. All right, so I've got my 2 white pieces. These are 5 1/4 by 4. Cherry cobbler, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. Score that. And then we will get to coloring with the blends. So I'm using cherry cobbler, and I still have the old ones of the cherry cobbler and the old olive. So I've got the light, medium, and dark, and I'm only going to use light and medium of the cherry cobbler. And I couldn't really tell a difference anyway. So, maybe that's just me. I did find though, I tend to put my hand here, and I was, coloring, and then I move it around and put my hand here. Sorry, I do have a cough still. It stayed wet longer than I expected from soaking up in the plush. So I'm going to start over here in the left corner and go this way because it got all over my hands, and then it like got on the vellum part. So, All right, so let's start with the dark, and I'm just going to color the berries first, and I'm just going to add like a little bit of the dark to each stem and berry. And if you mess up and go over and you end up on the vellum, the color remover is your friend. It will pull it right up because I did that a couple times. You just have to work at it a little bit. So just try to be careful. And I'm using a very light touch. I prefer the bullet end because I feel like I can hold that and I have more control. And I'm only, let me see if I can get this closer. I'm only touching on the flocked part. All right. And like I said, a very light touch. If you scooch over and you get the vellum a little bit, it's not the end of the world. All right. So like I said, I'm just going to add a little bit. Try to keep my fingers out of this. Yeah, I don't know why it took so long to dry. Oh wait, I'm going to go over here first. I guess because it's the alcohol markers, I just expected it to dry like immediately. And maybe that was just wishful thinking on my part. All right. See, I really wish I had cut a smaller piece because I didn't want to sit here and force you to watch me color this whole thing. All right, Gail, you're back. So I'm doing the blends on this plush stuff, and I can't remember if you've done this already in one of your videos or not. It's time consuming, but I could see this would be good to with some other colors, maybe some pinks or something, or some non-traditionals like purple and blue. That would be interesting. But I'm using the bullet end. And like I said, I'm just doing some highlights on that first. All right, that's about all I want with that. So that was the cherry cobbler medium. When these dry up, then I'll get the new ones. But they're still good. All right, now, so see there, I made a boo-boo and I hit the vellum part. That is not the end of the world to me. But if it was, I would just go and hit it with the color lifter. Yikes. All right, so while I'm coloring, everyone tell me, are you putting candy out? What's this paper? Gail, this is the plush poinsettia paper, or plush, I think it's called plush poinsettia. It's the flocked stuff out of the mini. Yeah, we sell it. It's like 6 pieces. So you get 2 sheets of the poinsettia, 2 sheets of this other pattern, and then there's, or holly leaves. This is holly. Then the bigger poinsettias, that's really pretty. And then this like pattern. I don't know that I would color that, but yeah. So I'm using the blends because I saw on the demonstrator website, somebody had done this and it looked decent enough. But with the regular markers, I just think it would bleed too much on all this. But so tell me, are you all doing candy for trick-or-treaters? Because I've already got my treat bags made up. And then people at work are telling me that they're not going out this year. So I'm probably going to end up leaving all of the stuff I made on a table. I'll drag out one of my little tables, put it out front on the porch. And if anybody comes, they can just take one or all of it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to take it to work to get rid of it. See, I got a little boo-boo there too. Now some of this is going to get, you're not even going to see it because I'm putting the cherry cobbler pattern paper behind it. So maybe if I was putting white or vanilla or something else behind it, my whoopsies would show up more. All right, I'm getting down to the end one. You ate most of it. I know, it's not good. Yeah, when I made the treats, I had like a whole bunch of candy, and so I just dumped the rest of it in a bowl and had it down there for Dave. And after the second day, he's like, you got to get rid of this stuff. You got to take it to work or something. He was just mowing right through it. All right, we're almost done with these berries. And it's kind of tricky with the lighting. Like, you do want to see what you're doing. All right, I think that's good enough. So let me bring this a little closer now. So you see, it's not really crisp coloring because of the fuzziness of this flocking. But give it a try. I think it's still an interesting look. It's better than I expected. I'll say that. All right, so now I'm going to go in with the, let me get rid of these, go in with the old olives. And like I said, I've still got the old ones. So I've got dark, medium, and light. So I'm going to start with the dark. And just add a little bit, like, now the tricky part is, where do I put my fingers? Because like I said, this stays wet for longer than I expected. Now these, even though they're blends, the colors don't really truly blend like they do on paper. So with this, I'm not looking to actually blend them. I'm just looking to get some different shades in there. So I'm going to color the darks like that. This is a little bit of the holly berry too. And down here. So when I glued my sample together, like I said, I use liquid glue, and you can see that's what these darker smudge spots are. So I'm going to use glue dots this time. You like the look? Yeah, it's different. When I saw the first couple samples I saw, I think they used like the regular markers, and it just looked messy to me. Ugh. I don't want to be a jerk, but I just didn't care for it. But the blends, for some reason, it just doesn't bleed as much. All right, and I cannot tell you enough like how light of a touch I'm doing with this. Like, I am barely touching the flocked part. I'm not putting any pressure at all on the marker. So that was dark. I'm going to go back with some medium, and I'm just going to go, like I said, I'm not trying to really blend the colors, so I'm just going to go over, like, start in the middle. I won't color over the dark bits. I'll just add. Ooh. I feel like I'm almost to the point where I need one of those magnifying things. Would it show from the back? The vellum? Oh, like, do you mean if I colored on it? Actually, I think I had a little strip. So let me get through this. And it does, it's just a lot, it's very muted. All right, did I finish coloring these? That's good enough. Yeah, I have a little bit, a little strip left, I think. So we'll try that. Because like I said, this has to dry for a few minutes anyway. So, good question. All right. Getting down to the end. And then there's little dots. I made them yellow on the other one, but this time I think on this one I'm just going to leave them plain. But I had gone in with the Daffodil Delight. All right, and then we'll finish with the light. Flip that back around. Find a place for my finger. Oh, but yeah, oopsie, I got a whoopsie there. Especially last week when I was working with those beads and that jewelry, I really felt like I needed one of those magnifying light up things. But I won't get one. I mean, it's a good idea, but then it's just like one more thing when I'm trying to like clean stuff out. And I don't think I would use it enough, but I don't know. Eventually I'll get there. All right, oops. So even though I'm not going over like the whole thing again like you would traditionally with the blends, we're still getting some shading differences. I hope that you can see that. And there's really not much left to color here. Okay. There we go. Yeah, Gail, you were totally Miss Experiment. All right, so I'm going to put this to the side and let me reach down and get this. Oh, no, wait, I didn't have another piece because I cut this 5 1/4 by 6. Let me just chop a piece of this off. Five 1/4. I'll cut it at 3, just so I can get 2 of them for our test batch. All right. Let me file this. back in the container. All right, so coloring on the back. So let's go with now I don't think if we use like light and dark that's really going to show through a lot. So this time I am going to use this is hard to see on this side. Would it be better? Oh, okay. So we need a little something to put something underneath of it so you can see. Can you tell that difference from the picture? From the camera like that? Can't see it. Put under here, then you can see it. All right, so now I'm using the brush end, which that's not best for me if I'm trying to really control it. I like the brush end when I'm like trying to do some watercolor kind of stuff. All right, so this is with medium. Barely shows. Let's go back over it with dark. Maybe it's all in the colors. Yeah, dark paper, you were right about that. Yeah, because remember when we used to do like stained glass, but that was just through straight vellum. I think this flocking, I mean, that just adds another layer that you're trying to look through. So hopefully this darker color will help. All right, let's see. It helps some, but well, I guess on white, then that's fine. Oh, actually, you know what? Why am I like trying to keep it nice? I really want those in between the veins to show up too. So let's try that. I like that better. I think I would prefer, you know what? Now's when I can do the fat end. Just color this whole thing. Because then I would mount it. And I don't want to color right on my cherry cobbler piece. Yeah, girl. That's what, yeah, just doing the background. Because that would still be a nice look. Oh, yeah. I like that. I think I will continue this when I'm finished here and turn this into a card. That would be pretty, yeah, like purple or blue or something. And that would be really good with the pattern that's not the poinsettias. The poinsettias, I can see that would be good in purple. Oh, whoopsie. So this is not dry. That's going to be the back side. Okay. So yeah, I like it just behind it as the background. That's workable. All right. For now, we're finished with those. Let me put this away. Put it up somewhere. All right. Where it won't. Ugh. All right, I'm just gonna have to tape this on the inside of my card now so I don't mess up. All right, cherry cobbler. So we learned something new, and then Gail, I'm sure you will come up with 10 more ideas or something else using that, because that's how you do. I look forward to it. All right. So our piece, this piece should be dry enough now. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to go through and poke all these holes right now, just because I don't feel like it. All right. And like I said, I cut these very close together. I want it to be up like this a little bit more though, because I want more of this paper to show through. So I'm going to use glue dots this time. Sorry. So these glue dots are left over from my paper pumpkin from different kits. They give you so many, and that one just stuck. They give you so many, like you never use them all for the project. So I always save them. And I'm going to put right here. Now I am going to be trimming off like maybe 1/8 of an inch or so there. So I just don't want to go up too close, like right on the line. Maybe here, down here. And then I don't need them. That didn't come off. Yeah, Gail, I resisted. But then I saw something cool with it, and you know, that's how that happens. And I like that there's not a ton of it. Like there's only 6 pieces of that plush stuff, so that's still enough to make some cute stuff. All right, and I think one more here. Okay, now let me peel these off, and that's the only thing about using these, the ones from the paper pumpkins, is that you have to sit here and peel off all the little paper. But I don't mind that at all, because I would rather use up the glue dots. Yeah, since I get so many of the paper pumpkins and so many of the glue dots, I can't remember the last time I had to order a box of glue dots. I mean, I've got a couple here already. All right, let me stick this on, and then I'm going to trim. Okay. And I'm just going to do this with my scissors. Oh, and I can tell I cut right through a glue dot. That's okay. All right, let me get all these little papers in the trash. Now, for stamping, I want the Thinking of You at Christmas Time. So I'm not going to attach this just yet, because in case I mess it up, then I can flip the white paper around. So this is going to go like right here. And I am using cherry cobbler. Alright, so I'm holding that. And you'll find the part of the curve that it matches. And that is the only stamping for that. Let me just give this a quick scrubby scrub, just because I don't like that. Cherry cobbler is one of those that really stains your photopolymer stamps. Not too bad. Blackberry Bliss is probably the darkest. That leaves a purple stain that you will never get off. Okay, so now let's get all this fuzzy bits off and get some glue. Liquid glue. And I'm not using a ton. Now you could pop this up. Hold this there for a minute. I kept it flat on my card, but we could pop it up because like this is how it's gonna go. I just like it like that, so yeah, I'm just gonna glue it down. And then I tied a bow with some Whisper white ribbon. That is actually not current, but I have a whole roll of it. So that's what we're using. So this is like Whisper White classic weave. So I'm just gonna do, I'm gonna put 2 glue dots on. Stick that there, and give this a little trim. And was that even? It looks even enough. Okay. So, I cannot believe that took 40 minutes. Ugh, this is why I shouldn't have waited to color this whole thing. All right, so that's card number 1. What did I want to tell you about? So November, how I do my workshop like this, for October, we only have a couple more days. For November, I'm doing a fundraiser. So for the wreaths across America, so they're the ones that lay wreaths out at all the cemeteries, the federal and state military stuff. And we both have parents that are there. Like my dad's at Crownsville, his parents were at Arlington. Usually I just donate money and so they can lay some wreaths, but this time I want to do a bigger donation. So my November workshop, there's not going to be any free gift. You're still going to get the make and take kit, but we're going to have a Hostess Code and 25%. I'm going to donate 25%. So that's like my whole percentage from my November workshop. I'm going to donate to the Wreaths Across America. So I am going to cut that off like the 29th of November because the donations expire. Like you can only donate the last days of November 30th. So it'll go the 1st through the 29th. And that'll be next week is when I'll be showing that workshop. So I hope, I get some support. And for even like people that don't stamp, there's stuff that, kits that you can get for crafty people in your lives or whichever. So that's November. Now card number 2, I love the fall. So we are using watercolor paper and regular markers. And now that I look at the time, like really quarter of, like I might be here another half hour. So, sorry, I didn't mean for that one to take so long. But it is what it is. All right, so I'm using the In Color Memories and More cards. And of course they have matching envelopes, which are still in my pile. This is Cinnamon Cider, because this is a very fall-y set, and then Bumblebee. So I tried to cut 2 of these at the same time. So I cut the Bumblebee one, and then I cut the Cinnamon Cider one. Of course, they do not match up exactly. So when I put them together, like this is crooked. This one was too a little bit. So hopefully those leaves are going to cover it up because it's going to end up like that. So I'm first going to start and tape. No, wait, I'm not going to tape this down. This time I'm going to want my greeting to go down here, I think. We're going to work that out. All right, so first, this one was from the Curvy, not the Christmas set. This was from the Quite Curvy. So, I mean, these are, you would think green at your first thought, but why not fall-y colors? All right, so I stamped this on watercolor paper, and you need a waterproof ink. Oh my goodness, I'm getting warm. Ugh. So Stampin' Up! Does not have a waterproof brown ink. So I've got this Gina K amalgam ink that I use, and I put it in my Stamparatus, and I stamped it 3 or 4 times to get a good, inking down on the watercolor paper. But amalgam ink it's good for anything. Alcohol markers, colored pencils, and watercolors. So you know how sometimes you need different ink for alcohol markers versus watercoloring? So the amalgam is multi-purpose. All right, the markers I'm using, Just Jade, Terracotta Tile, Cinnamon Cider, and Bumblebee. So these are from this year's In Colors. This is from last year's In Colors. I mean, the ones, they're still current, but whatevs. Okay. Now notice my coloring. It's not like blended. You can't, the lines are not completely blended together. So that is, with watercolor paper, you can either do wet on dry, which is what I did here. So I took the wet marker on dry watercolor paper and colored it in, and then I add the water pen to blend it as best I could. I like this because it's not as washed out. So the other technique is wet on wet, and you would wet the watercolor paper first and then add some marker. It's a very lighter, it's lighter, and it looks a little bit more watercolory and washed out. So I want this to be more vibrant. So that's why I'm doing the wet on dry. Let me make sure I've got the right marker or aqua painter, water pen. That one should do it. All right, so you'll need a paper towel or something to wipe your thing off. Now, normally I would stamp this and watercolor it and then cut it out. But, you know, I didn't want to have to do that right now, so that's why I cut it out before. All right, so I'm just adding a little bit of the green, and I'm just going to do the same kind of colors where I colored it the same, just so I don't have to think about it too much, because I already thought about it when I made it. All right, so a little bit of Just Jade, because we do still have some green here in Maryland. All right, then I'm going to add some terracotta tile. And like I said, just, you know, a little here and there. Man, that rain is coming down now. Ugh. All right, some here. And then when I get done coloring it, I ran a Wink of Stella over this whole thing. And that really looks nice too. All right, and then we'll go in with some cinnamon cider. Now, if this was wet, I would probably start with the lightest color first, like my bumblebee. But I'm not really worried about that when I do it the wet on dry. Oh, I feel like I messed that up. Oh, yep, that'll have to be yellow. See, I can't talk and color at the same time. Ugh. All right, maybe a little bit more here. Now the thing, when you do this wet on dry method, it does not spread and blend as much as if it was wet before. That's just the nature of it. All right, and then we'll do some bumblebee. And now I'm just going to be filling in, since bumblebee is my last color. And I'll go right over top of stuff. And it doesn't really pull it up. If it was wet, that would be different. All right. So I love that these leaves can be fall-y. Okay, now, so I've got that colored. This is one of my new aqua water pens. Oh, this is a really big brush. So we've got like a bigger brush, a smaller. I'm going to try it with the big one. So now it's just going over it with water to try to blend that out some. And this is going to soak up, it's going to be a lot of water, and that's okay. But see, now I can see some color movement, but not as much as if this was a wet surface. So you'll have to play around with both methods, because you just get a slightly different, you get a different look. This, it softens it up a little bit, but not. Let's see there. So now some colors coming up. And I am gonna, I'm gonna go over this with the Winkostella again. Or again, period. There we go. All right. Now see how that's curling? That's from all that water. And that is okay. All right. Actually, let me hit this with my dryer a little bit because that's just a little wet. Too wet. Okay. That feels better. And then I gotta move my iPad for a minute. Get my Winkostella. That's the clear one. Yep. All right, let me bend this back. And this, all just color it straight all over. I've seen some people lately, hey Margaret, I've seen a lot of people lately doing coloring with their Winkostella. Like they'll put some re-inker out on a block or something and then use this like a water pen. I mean, I just don't have that many spares laying around. I mean, it looks cool, but I would think it like would totally wreck your marker after that. Like, I don't know if there's enough, you know, running it clear. I just don't know if you can do that. Okay, so we are ready. We've got our leaves. Now these pieces are going to go like that. So I'm going to tape these down. Oh, you know what? I hope my stamping goes well, because if I'm taping them down, that means like I'm pretty committed. And that's going to go there. So see how they don't line up? So hopefully I'm going to put that right there. All right, now this one I pulled out, Thinking of You Makes My Day. So I can either put that here, or actually there's a different stamp in here. Something about a birthday, wishing you the happiest of birthdays, because I do have quite a few November birthday cards that I have to send out. Let me just, I'll put that, stick that right up there. So I kind of want something that is going to fit on the yellow, because I want it to stand out. Yeah, this is going to work. Happiest of birthdays. Now, I'm going to stamp with black ink this time, even though I used brown to stamp my leaves. This VersaFine, it's just a nice darker black, and I know it's going to show up nice. All right, careful, careful. So I'm going to have my leaves like that, and I'm just going to go right there. And I'm holding it for just a minute. Nice. Okay, I'm happy with that. All right, and we are not done with the VersaFine. I do want to clean this off. Okay, so this card came together quicker than I expected. I was really worried about the time. That was only 10 minutes. Okay, now dimensionals, because we must pop these up. I really love these fall leaves. All right. And then I'm going to cover up, since I didn't get those cut quite right, just going to cover that up a little. Okay. And then for the bow and some rhinestones, and this card will be finished. So this ribbon is the embroidered 3/8 inch embroidered ribbon. And that was too wide, so I just cut it right in half. And I made a bow. So it is fraying a little bit, but that does not bother me. So I'm just going to make a quick bow. So that's a loop. And I'll go around and push this end through. And then pull the tails. Okay, so I'm happy enough with that little bow. Trim, trim. And actually, I'm going to put this one like right here this time. A little different. Yeah, if any ribbon is just not quite the right size for what you want, just cut it. Why not? All right, I like where that bow is. And then I want to finish with some champagne rhinestones. These go with so many colors. Like, I've used them on Christmas cards, fall stuff. They're kind of like a neutral. All right, and all I have is little ones left. I've got to be ordering myself some more. So I want one here for sure. You know, groups of 3 is a good idea. Put it over here. Since I put my ribbon down here, that's why I kind of switched that up. And I want it right there. Okay. So I like how that turned out too. All right. I'm trying to put my stuff away as I go, somewhat. All right, markers. And this is how I keep my in color markers. Like whatever the current years, 2 years are, they fit in the stamp case. So that's just how I do that. But I like it. I like both of these with the opposite paper. All right, one more. Although I did want to show you. So I've got 2 Christmas card class sessions in November. The first one, they're both on November 21st. They're both by Zoom. The first one's at 11 o'clock, and that is the poinsettia. So you'll get 12, we'll make 12 cards. So there'll be 3 of each of these. Any poinsettia set you have should work. Okay, so for like this one, I'm pre-cutting these foil poinsettias, the little ones, and you would use your poinsettia to just stamp this background. This will be embossed, this will be cut out, you'll emboss your own greeting. This one, this paper is going to be cut, this will be already embossed. These will be cut out for you, so you'll just sponge them, and I added gold Wink Stella in there. This will be die cut, so you'll put your own greeting in. You'll get the ribbon. This one is just stamping on paper, pattern paper. So you'll get the pattern paper, you'll stamp whatever poinsettia you have. This will be cut out, so you'll emboss whatever greeting you have. And then I colored these in with blends. You could use whatever markers you had. Okay. This ribbon, this bow will already be tied for you because that's like a double bow. You're going to get a pack of these beaded pearls that you could use on any or all of your cards. This last one, this is Rococo Rose and I think Mint Macaron. So if you don't have these colors, don't worry about that. You could just emboss all these pieces, whatever poinsettia you have, emboss in gold, because you're going to emboss this in gold, and that will tie the whole card together. So that may even look better. I don't know. I'll try another one. I'll try one like that on the 21st. I'll emboss everything instead of using colors. But so that's the Christmas card session number 3. That's $35. Shipping's extra. The other one is called Express Christmas Cards, and that is, there's no stamping. That is, we're using the Memories and More cards and envelopes. And these have like a red foil, all the envelopes, very pretty. It's using the pack of Memories and More cards. So you can get 2 sets of cards out of 1 pack. But the kit's going to include a pack of these cards and envelopes, and they're all the 4x6 cards, and a pack of the Memories and More cards. You will only use half of these cards to make your set of 20 cards. So if you wanted to double up and add another set of these Memories and More cards and envelopes, you could do that, and you could have 40 cards. And I'm just going to flip through these real quick. These, all I did was glue down, it comes with these little stuff that you stick on there, die cuts, paper die cuts, whatever. So I'll just flip through these real quick. And then I've got a pack of wonderful gems in there that you're going to add, that you can add to your cards too. And if you want to pop them up, you pop them up. I did mine all flat, and that's that. We're going to go through and make one of these each through Zoom, and then you'll be able to use the rest of yours and make another set later. So I think those are cool enough. I like them. So I have 20 cards already ready to go out. And I like that it was so quick. I mean, it took me maybe an hour to do all those. And that was like figuring out, which cards did I want to use with different stuff. So that's on my blog. I'm going to make sure this weekend that everything's up to date though. And I'm sending out an email, which reminds me, if you go on my page, there should be a link to the left or somewhere where it says to sign up for my newsletter. If you do that, hopefully do that by Saturday. And because I'm planning on sending my November newsletter out on Sunday. And I use MailChimp, and it takes me a bunch of hours to get it all put together. But so click on that before Saturday if you want to get on my mailing list. And that's going to have all the information that I've already talked about. My November workshop, the fundraiser, Christmas card classes, all that. Okay, third card. Just a few minutes after 12. Oh, here's the thing I thought I was going to use. All right. So again, I'm using the Quite Curvy set for this one. So not the Christmas one. I'm using this one. And this time I wanted a fun little square card. And using some of these blue adhesive back gems that I had to have. And I've got a little bit left of this Seaside Spray ribbon, so we're using that. And we're going to make some cute birds. So this I already die cut. I wanted to use the blue, balmy blue glitter paper, whatever. I thought I had some, and I probably spent half an hour looking for it before I finally just went and looked at my orders. I logged into the system to see when did I order it. Turns out I did not order it. So I had to go with the Diamonds glitter paper. This does make me think of snow when I see it like this. So I guess these could be snowbirds. Whatevs. All right, little square card. So I've got 8.5 by 4 1/4. Fold that in half. And then I've got 2 pieces, one for the inside and one for our stamping. These I cut down 3/16 of an inch. So instead of 4 1/4, normally I would do 4 by 4. This is 4 1/16. And it's just a little bit, it doesn't leave as much of a border. And I like it. So that's that. Okay, now I already cut the glimmer papers. And my idea was to layer them like this. Did I pop that up? No, I just taped those. I just glued those down. So I glued these down first, and then I stamped my birds and colored them. So we're going to stamp that. We're going to stamp the birds first because this black ink has to dry. So again, I'm using my VersaFine because it's a good ink for this. All right, and I'm going to let that sit for a minute. And then we'll come back to that. I'm going to color those in with Stampin' Blends. Actually, let me clean this. All right. And I like that these birds all have their own dies, so I could, like I said, I didn't say, but I put the birds all on one block and stamped them, and then I will be able to cut them all out at the same time. All right, so I'm gonna need that, that, and that. Okay. And let's move this around. All right, while this is still drying, let's go ahead and put our glimmer paper. I mean, this just looks like snowy hills to me, and that's fine. I mean, these can be snowbirds, right? I may have to trim these just a little bit. It seems like I didn't get these as tall as the other ones. Yeah. All right, I'm going to, let's see, maybe we'll do it this way. That makes it a little bit taller. Okay. So, let's put tape. And I'm only putting this on the bottom because I'm hoping to slide that other piece of glitter paper underneath it. Like that. And I'm going to go as far up as I can. And I can tell that is a wee bit hanging off, so I'm just going to trim that with my scissors. And then another little, there. Okay. So that's that, and these should be dry enough to color now. So I started with the pinks, actually, the Rococo Rose, and I did the dark on all their bellies, dark and then light. And I don't know if there are birds that are these colors or not. I was not concerned with that really at all. All right, add some more of this, some of the lighter. And then I used Balmy Blue and Seaside Spray. All right, Balmy Blue. You can't really tell, but like I did 2 of them were the Seaside Spray and 1 was Balmy Blue. And at least my eyeballs, I can't tell a difference. So, all right, Seaside, dark Seaside Spray, Balmy Blue. Okay, so we'll start with the dark and just add this. And I'm running it right over that Rococo Rose. Then it kind of makes it purple. And then come in with the light. I am getting a little bit of smearing, I feel like. Maybe I didn't let this dry long enough. Okay. Good enough, I like it. And then we'll do this other one with the Balmy Blue, even though it really looks the same. So coming in with the darker and just going over the whole thing with the light. Okay. That's that. Yes, Gail, they can be any color I want. You're right. These would be good folly birds too. Like orange and yellow. All right, now I still have, I'm using my little sidekick to cut my birds out. So let's get this suction down. And I do have to trim this a little bit because it was too wide to fit through here. All right, and then this is, I had some sticky notes. So I use sticky notes when I need to hold something down, like the dies. All right, and because sometimes they don't want to stay put. All right, so this is just figuring out where they go. Actually, let me try this. I think it's going to be fine without the sticky. We shall see. Trying to be careful, like not to move that around any. All right. Get that out of the way. Now, I had to cut the legs off one of my birds because I wanted him to be in the air, and I didn't want him like just hanging out with his legs. So this way he's kind of flying, at least in my head. All right, so we've got our birds, and they all look cut out very nicely. And I'm going to have to think, do I want the same greeting? So do I want thinking of you makes my day? Because I can put that. That doesn't quite go with that. Oh no, thinking of you at Christmas. Where'd that other one go? Oh, right here. Wishing you the happiest of birthdays. It seems like I've chosen the wrong side of the curve there. Let me see if any of these other ones are going to fit. Hooray for you. Actually, we're just going to do made. No, made with you just for, oh, hello. Duh. Let's just use that. Yeah, that's going to work. All right, so I need a little block. Little-ish. No, I want this one. And again, I'm going to do stamp it in the black, the Versamark, or Versafine, I should say. Get these out of the way. I feel like I'm organized and I have everything set, and then everything just happens. Things go south. I could bend the stamp a little. Yep, curve it around. If I didn't feel pressed for time, that would definitely be an option. I feel like I don't like going over an hour. I just don't feel like I should be holding everybody that long, you know? All right, so this has to dry a little bit, and hopefully I have enough ribbon. Yeah, so I'm going to tie some ribbon around down here, and I just went with a knot. Actually, I'm going to tie it up like that. I feel like I don't want to cover up too much of that prettiness that I cut out. So I can either go way down at the bottom. Actually, I'll just do that. I'll go way down at the bottom. Because since I used a different greeting, I'm moving my knot over to this side. Whoops. And I should have cut a longer piece of ribbon so I can actually grab it easily. All right, I'm going to hold that and tie this. All right, and then trim it. So yeah, this weekend I'm going to be working on the PDF for buying the variety bundle. So the variety bundle for this is the $70.50 version. And then I'm going to be getting my blog updated with all these details. Did I get black on there? Yep. Something's going to have to go there. All right. And then we're going to that are birds. See, I feel like I'm gonna have to cut the legs off one again. Or I can just have them sitting here. Yeah. Alright, now these I used liquid glue. But I'm going to use a glue dot. Because I don't want to wait for that to dry. So let's get this little guy. Let's have one of his feet over. And then this guy can be right here. And then this one I will pop up with a mini dimensional. He can go right there. Yeah. I like that. Hello. And then I wanted to finish it with some of these blue adhesive back gems. See, there's two different like colors with these. Hi, Patricia. We are nearing the end. So let me hold it on the white. So these look darker and like iridescent, whereas these, I mean, they're both iridescent, but these are lighter. These remind me of the iridescent pearls, but just because they have a different, they look goldish kind of. But I use these ones on the original. I'm going to use these darker ones here. And I think I'm going to use, yeah, I'll go with the same. Like one big one and then two little ones. And I'm just going to put the little ones over here. Nice. I like that. Oh, you're undecided about the bundle? I like it because, I mean, you save that 10%. And you won't be able to get the Christmas stuff after January 4th or whatever. So that's the only reason because I wanted those Christmas papers and the trees. This is what did it for me for the bundle, was these leany trees. I love it, and I like these too. But that's what set me over. Okay, and then this I'm just going to pop up. Now I like this size square card because since it is 4 1/4 square, it'll still fit in a regular, like a medium envelope. So you don't actually have to put in any extra postage or make a special envelope. So medium envelope, regular postage. And the fact that I put gems on here and that big knot for the bow, I've never had anything kicked back for that. You know how they'll say like, oh, if it's lumpy, you got to pay extra postage. I've never run into that trouble just from ribbons or pearls or anything. I do like to put a little extra piece of paper. I feel like that's a little bit crooked. You know what? I'm going to mess with that later. I'm going to get this on the inside. But I'll put like a piece of cardstock over top of this just when I mail it, just so the pearls don't get sheared off or anything. But I've never had any trouble with getting it through. Okay, so that is the end of our projects for today. So there's our birdies. Here's our leaves, our fall leaves that we did. And then our Christmas one where we colored that plush paper, vellum paper, plush poinsettia stuff. So again, this is peeking through. So till Saturday, Hostess Code for October. Get the workshop packet for that and the pack of gold hoops. So that's 2 more days for that. And then check my blog. So I'm updating for the November workshop, which I said I'm going to do a donation thing for the Wreaths Across America. So thanks for sticking it out with me for an hour and 20 minutes. And I will see you next week. Have a good Halloween. Have a good weekend. And thanks for being here.